Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so from what I understand, according to something that my boy Abdul posted, it was like an excerpt of some type of article. Essentially what they were saying was, it really doesn't matter how available Trent or any other free agent may look to the Lakers. They're not going to be able to really sign him until they create some space to go further under the apron. I think they're only under the apron by like a small amount. Not enough to pay his salary. So at this point, we got to move on from some people in order to even do that. Now, I think that Gary Trent Jr. could really be a nice piece at this point, especially if we can get him for a dirt cheap minimum price. That would really help our defense, especially since we're seeing some of our defensive issues, three-point shooting, two-way ability. Anybody that can basically play two sides of the floor at a high level should probably be coveted by this team at this point. Somebody we can get on dirt cheap level, as I said. So, you know, Gary Trent is somebody who I think is playing for a one-year deal. He hasn't signed with anybody as of yet. And maybe in a perfect world, he's waiting for the Lakers' opportunity so we could take this particular job. I don't know what would be the holdup in making certain things happen in order for that to be the case. Obviously, we want to be careful not to make bad moves. But when it comes to waving a guy like, Cam Reddish or something like that, I'm not really sure what the snag would be in the situation. I don't doubt that there probably is something, but I'm just not really sure what it is. In listening to people talk, one of the things that I think could have been possible that maybe we didn't try is trying to get another second-round pick in this past draft with cash considerations, since a lot of picks were moved around. That seemed like a move that was possible, maybe, just to get us an extra asset from which to try to fill these voids. But, it is what it is. I think the truth of the matter is, if I'm looking from afar, what I see there is a Laker team that was swamped, had their focus on getting coaching situations straightened out and free agency with LeBron James and the particulars straightened out with that, probably more so than focused on some of these other things. And this is why I really believe that it ties into what I was saying earlier, which is we need a president of basketball operations. When you have somebody in place that can delegate other people to do specific jobs that need to be done in order for us to work as a cohesive basketball unit, and let the GM focus on GMing, let the Rambai focus on being Rambuses. You know what I mean? You need a basketball operations manager so that all the different divisions of basketball can be addressed, so not one person is doing 6 jobs and not doing any of those jobs very well. And that's what I see from afar. It's something like that is probably what's happening here. We got people trying to do 3 and 4 jobs or neglecting entire jobs altogether. And you just need somebody who knows how to run a basketball team, running the basketball team. And then you don't have these things slip through the cracks. Simple as that. And so that's really what I think the Lakers are missing, is that cohesive mind that's going to say, okay, this guy is going to do this guy is going to do that, these people are going to do this team is going to do that. And then just bite the bullet on how much all that costs, so that what you do have that you're trying to hold on to can get the most value out of itself without having so many moves needing to be made, or in you making certain moves, you can get the most out of those moves. We do all this to try to get a team around, only for that team to lose value because these aspects are not being taken care of. So I'm not in there with the Lakers. Obviously, I don't know exactly what's going on the inside, but it does seem to me that the tea leaves are showing me that people are doing too many different jobs and things are slipping through the cracks in ways that you just don't want them to when you're in our situation, when the expectations are you be excellent. Rob Pelinka has a lot on his plate. Now he's trying to make trades, try to prepare for the draft, try to get the coaching situation going. One coach decided he didn't want to be here. Free agent decided he don't want to be here. So it's a lot of disappointment that can kind of, in theory, draw away from your enthusiasm, draw away from your energy. Not hearing too many yeses kind of take away from the focus. And I think that could be a possibility there. Just being let down so much in situations consecutively to where people are not on the A game right now. So I don't know, man. Whatever the case may be, we have a lot to consider, and people being on their A game is going to get the most out of what it is that's already invested. So, you know, I heard someone say that they didn't think LeBron James cared too much about player development. I disagree, because now his son's in place, and he's entrusted this organization with that player development. So if he's not invested in our player development, then that tells me that he doesn't know how to check all the boxes on the things that should matter to him. You know what I mean? It's like you love your son, but you forget to feed him type of thing. Like, I love my kid, but he only has like one pair of shoes. You want to be able to take care of certain things and make it so that your son is taken care of. And in this case, basketball development for this franchise should be at the top of LeBron James's things to do in regards to seeing this organization run properly. Because now player development means his very own son is getting the development necessary and is surrounded by the developing talent necessary for him to succeed. And so, far be it from me to know LeBron James personally, but he doesn't come off as the kind of guy who wants to neglect his kid at all, or wants to leave stones unturned as it pertains to his child's development or well-being or any of that. So I think the dynamic this year is going to be different just off of the strength of his presence. Bronny being on the team, 9 out of 10 fathers are going to be in a different space, both on and off the court, as it pertains to where their kid is when their kid's next to them versus when their kid is somewhere with the mama. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm co-workers with my seed, my son, my energy around the profession is going to be different. Now, I don't know LeBron James to know what changes would be made. I don't know that he isn't already tip-top, grade A role model anyway. Because he don't come off as the type of guy who want to go drinking after the game or surround himself with too many different types of nefarious individuals or nothing like that. But I can tell you this, now that his son's in place, it's going to be some different tones to the conversation around the team when his son is present. You ain't gonna hear the same stuff. You know what I mean? That type of stuff is just 9 out of 10. Not to say that I know the man, but like in most situations, now my kid is here, okay, we got a different, I'm not gonna laugh like I did last time at that particular joke that you just said, that kind of thing, you know? So I just feel like it's just gonna be a different aura around that situation. I know when you have a young son, you gotta try to be cool, you know what I mean? You wanna seem like one of the guys. You want your son to feel comfortable. You want, you know, all that type of stuff is important. But at the end of the day, I think LeBron's gonna have a different vibe about himself now that his son's in place. And one of the things that I think is automatically going to be more important is that of the function of the franchise while his son is a part of the team. Because now he's not just a player on the squad. He's a basketball dad, you know? So that's what it's, a basketball dad. And this is a dynamic the NBA's never seen before, not in this way. And so I wonder what type of changes that could be brought to the situation. Obviously, JJ Redick, you know, he and Bron are pretty cool. I don't know how tight they are at this point, but I'd imagine they're getting closer at this point. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how their relationship develops with how Bronny is managed as a player, and so on and so forth, you know. So it's just a lot of things I'm curious to see. Reading body language is going to be important to me, especially during losing streaks, and how much Bronny's actually going to be present, because I think he's going to spend a lot of time in the G League, as we've already discussed. But there will be times where he's with the team. He has a guaranteed contract for 4 years, so he's not going anywhere. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic develops throughout the course of the next 4 years. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I got to get inside. It is too hot, and I got people to pay. BDL44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.